Hello, a very warm welcome to you from SGT University. I'm Anchal Mittal, faculty at School of Law. Today we will be learning about the historical development of trademark law in India. It was the Indian Merchandise Marks Act 1889 which is considered to be the first legislation on the trademark in India. This act continued for about 51 years. Thereafter, it was replaced by Trademark Act 1940. Prior to the enactment of the Trademarks Act 1940, the dispute relating to infringement of trademarks were decided in light of Section 54 of the Specific Relief Act 1877, where the problem related to registration of trademarks were tackled by obtaining a declaration under the Registration Act 1908. What did the Trademarks Act 1940 introduce? For the first time, it introduced a system of registration of trademark and provided statutory protection to such registered mark. But with the passage of time and due to the change in economic system of the world after the Second World War, the Trademarks Act 1940 could not keep pace with the changing times and became obsolete. This brought a new Trademark Act. The existing Trademark Act was replaced by the Trade and Merchandise Act 1958. So is the Trade and Merchandise Act 1958 the current legislation governing trademarks? Well, the Trademark and Merchandise Act 1958 served the nation for nearly 40 years and later could not keep pace with the changing time. Therefore, it was replaced by Trademarks Act 1999, which still is in existence. Let us understand why the Trademark Act 1999 was enacted. It was enacted to comply with the TRIPS agreement, and it came into force on 15 September 2003. Let us know what is TRIPS agreement. It stands for Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights. It is an agreement which is as on date the most comprehensive multilateral agreement on intellectual property and came into effect on 1st January 1995. Dear students, now let us understand what does the agreement deal with. The agreement has mainly three features, that is standard, enforcement and dispute settlement. The TRIPS agreement set out minimum standards of protection to be provided by each member. The agreement sets these standards by requiring first that the substantive obligations of the main conventions of WIPO, the Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property and the Berne Convention for the Protection of Literary and Artistic Work in their most recent versions must be complied with the exception of the provisions of the Berne Convention on Model Rights. All the main substantive provisions of these conventions are incorporated by reference and thus became obligations under the TRIPS agreement between TRIPS member countries. Enforcement is the second main set of provisions, deals with domestic procedures and remedies for the enforcement of intellectual property rights. The agreement lays down certain general principles applicable to all intellectual property rights enforcement procedures. The procedures and remedies that must be available so that right holders can effectively enforce their rights. So was there any significant impact on India due to TRIPS? Yes, the most important change which affected India due to TRIPS was in the area of patents. The TRIPS agreement mandates granting product patent protection. As a consequence, India amended the Patents Act in 2005. And product patent was extended to all fields of technology including food, drugs, chemical and microorganisms. The ramifications of TRIPS agreements was also felt in the area of protecting plant variety. India legislated the Plant Varieties Protection and Farmers' Right Act, which was a sui generis legislation, the first of its kind granting rights to farmers. So dear students, let us know about the dispute settlement feature of TRIPS. The agreement makes dispute between WTO members in respect of the TRIPS obligations subject to the WTO's dispute settlement procedures. This brings us to what is WTO and who are its members. The WTO is the World Trade Organization which deals with global rules of trade between nations. It acts as a forum for negotiating trade agreements. It settles trade disputes between members and it supports the need for developing countries. The WTO has over 160 members representing 98% of the world's trade. Over 20 countries are seeking to join WTO. WTO became effective on 1st January 1995. The most favored nation treatment and the principle of national treatment were the fundamental principles of WTO. The TRIPS agreement was one of the most important agreements of WTO and encompasses all fields of intellectual property rights. Dear students, now that we've understood what WTO is, what is TRIPS, now let us have a look at the Indian Trademark Act. The salient features of Trademark Act 1999 inter alia includes providing for registration of trademark for services in addition to goods, amplification of definition of trademark to include registration of shape of goods, packaging goods and combination of colors, international classification of goods and services as earlier used now applicable to India as well. The period of registration and renewal of trademark was increased from 7 to 10 years to bring it in conformity with the accepted international practice. It also widened the scope of infringement of trademark. It also created an intellectual property appellate board for hearing appeals against the order and the decision of the registrar of trademarks for speedy disposal of cases. Further, it included criminal remedies in case of falsification of trademarks. Then, recognition of use of trademark by even an unregistered licensee. Further, expeditious examination of trademark application on payment of 5 times the application fee. The rights granted under the Act are operative in whole of India. The new Act also expanded the procedure for registration of registered user, enlarged the scope of permitted use, and allowed the registration of collective marks owned by association, etc. The Act empowers the registrar to register certification trademarks. Earlier, this power was vested with the central government. The provisions for enhancing punishment for the offences relating to trademark on the lines of Copyright Act was introduced. Restriction on sale of spurious goods and use of someone else's trademark as part of corporate names or names of businesses concerned have also been incorporated in the new Act. The new Act has also broadened the definition of infringement for a registered trademark to include action against unauthorized use of a confusing similar mark, not only in respect of the goods and services covered by registration, as was previously the case, but also in respect of goods and services which are so similar that the likelihood of deception or confusion exists. Under the Trademarks Act 1999, the Government of India is empowered to make rules for implementing the Act and regulating the trademark administration. Accordingly, the government framed Trademarks Rules 2001. These rules were subsequently amended in 2002 and came into force on the date on which the Trademarks Act 1999 came into force, that is 15 September 2003. These rules have been amended again in 2010, called the Trademarks Amendment Rules 2010, which have come into force with effect from May 20, 2010. Now, let us go through the intellectual property rights policy that was introduced in 2016. The policy is in compliance with WTO agreement on TRIPS and aims to sustain entrepreneurship and boost the flagship scheme of Make in India. The new National Intellectual Property Right Policy lays down the following 7 objectives. Number 1. Intellectual property right awareness. It aims at outreach and promotion to make public awareness about various aspects, the economic, social and cultural benefits of intellectual property among all sections of society. Number 2. Generation of intellectual property rights. To encourage the generation of intellectual property. Third, legal and legislative framework. To have strong and effective IPR laws which balance the interest of rights owners with large public interest. The fourth objective is administration and management, which targets to modernize and strengthen service-oriented intellectual property administration. The fifth objective is commercialization of intellectual property rights, to get value from intellectual property through commercialization. The sixth objective is enforcement and adjudication, to strengthen the enforcement and adjudicatory mechanism for combating intellectual property infringement. Number 7 is human capital development, to strengthen and enlarge human resources, institute and capacities for learning, training, research and skill building in intellectual property rights. These objectives are sought to be achieved through detailed action points. The action by different ministry departments shall be monitored by the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, the nodal department to coordinate, guide, and oversee implementation and future developments of intellectual property rights in India. So today, we covered the historical background of trademark law in India and the salient features of Trademark Act. The next time we meet, we will be exploring the meaning of mark and trademark. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.